Hi everyone, welcome back. Today I'm going to be putting on a full face of makeup in this video and adding up the total cost of that full face of makeup. This video is inspired by Hannah Louise Poston. I saw her do this recently on her channel and I was super intrigued by the results and thought it would be really nice to do that in my own collection just to see kind of how it compares. One YouTuber, Hannah, who does receive PR and gifts from friends on YouTube and who has kind of a little bit of a higher end or luxury makeup collection than I do, and comparing that to me, who obviously does not receive any PR from brands yet. I don't have other creators who are like sending me makeup as gifts, and I tended to lean much more toward drugstore and affordable makeup. So I randomly selected all of the products for today. I didn't, like hand pick things that are either more expensive or on the more affordable end of my collection. I just picked out what I felt like wearing today, and I'm going with that. I want to see the true totals here. Before we jump in, I just want to say a special welcome to anyone who's new to my channel. I'm so glad you clicked on this video. Thank you so much for watching today. I'm currently on an alternating no-buy and low-buy schedule, so I'm doing a lot of videos like this focused on how to use the products you own and also focused on kind of the cost and the financial impact that the makeup industry has on individual people's budgets. I'm doing a project pan this year, and I'm also working on switching my whole makeup collection over to cruelty-free brands and products. So if any of that sounds interesting to you, I would love to have you subscribe before you go today. And now let's go ahead and jump right in. Okay, so those of you who have been watching my channel for a while probably noticed something different. I actually curled my hair today, and this is maybe the first time that I've officially done my hair before filming. And to be honest, it's kind of reminding me why I don't do this, because my hair is so long that you just barely even see the start of the curls. Like my hair, I can't even get it all in frame. So it's curled, but you all aren't even gonna get to see it. And also now I'm going to kind of have to clip it back anyways, just because when I'm doing my makeup, if my hair's in my face, it's just a mess. So I do have to kind of clip it back for the time being. And I'm gonna first go in with my NYX Angel Veil Primer. This is one of my favorite face primers. I feel like it actually does make a difference in kind of how noticeable my pores are, especially kind of here on my cheeks and then up on my forehead, which are the two places that I have the most obvious pores. So I don't always use a primer, but oftentimes I will use something, especially if I know I want my makeup on for a long time that day. And I kind of went back and forth on how I wanted to do this, but I think I'm going to tell you prices as I go. So this NYX Angel Veil Primer is $16, which when I looked that up, I was actually really surprised. I mean, I bought this a long time ago, and I always think of NYX as such an affordable brand, but $16 for a primer is not exactly like drugstore prices. For foundation today, I'm using the ColourPop Pretty Fresh Hydrating Foundation. I use the shade Light 55N, and this is also $16. And here's where my first brush comes in as well. This is the e.l.f. Ultimate Blending Brush. It's one of my favorite foundation brushes, and this is $6. Next up is a product that's pretty new to me, but I wanted to test it out today, and I could see it becoming a staple in my collection and routine, so I'm including it in this video. This is the Becca Under Eye Brightening Corrector, and I'll take the lid off, it's so reflective. So it's just a kind of a peachy under eye corrector, and this is really new to me, and I actually bought it in this little sampler kit, and it's not the full size product. The full-size one is quite a bit larger than this, and it costs $32, but I couldn't find an actual mini version like this available on its own for sale anywhere. So it seems like it only kind of came in that set itself. So I paid much less than $32 for this, but if I were to go out and buy it now, it would be $32. So that's the price I'm sticking with. Okay, I blended that out with the Deluxe Crease Brush from Real Techniques. This comes in a set with a bunch of brushes that I love, and I actually didn't mean to spread that out with the brush. I was gonna tap it in with my fingers, but just out of habit, I reached for my favorite concealer brush. So I'll count this now as well. This comes in a set, and the set is $20. So I'm going to use the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer over the top to just add a little bit of extra coverage. This e.l.f. concealer is $6. Sticking with the same brush, I will powder under my eyes a little bit in a minute, but I'm using a cream blush today, so I want to do that first. And this is the Daniel Sandler Watercolor Gel Cheek Color. I have the shade Petal, which is just like a really nice peachy pink, and I like to blend this in with my fingers, so no brush this time. This is $16.50 in British pounds, so kind of depending on the conversion rate, the US dollars are a little bit different, but right now it's around 23 US dollars. Okay, now I will go ahead and powder, and I'm going to use my Physicians Formula Healthy Powder today. This is around $13. I think it may be being discontinued right now because I see a lot of shades on sale at a lot of retailers, but my shade, this LN3 shade, is usually still at basically full price of $13. I have been not great about including the prices of the brushes as I go. So backing up, the setting brush that I just used with that powder is the Real Techniques 402 setting brush. And this comes in the same set as the crease brush that I used for my concealer. So this would not be an additional cost. Moving on to bronzer, I'm using my Nabla Skin Bronzing in the shade Ambra today, and along with that, I am using my Bare Minerals Flawless Face Brush, and I have this little mini, like, travel size one that I got years and years and years ago. So this travel size of the Flawless Face Brush retails for $20, and this bronzer from Nabla retails for $24. My highlighter today is actually coming from within this Ofra Sweet Dreams eyeshadow palette. So the center shade of these palettes from Ofra are their highlighter formula. This one is the shade Pillow Talk. It is available to buy this like separately in its own compact full size, but I'm using this eyeshadow palette for my eye look today as well. So I'm just gonna count this palette once and use the highlighter in here as well. This palette retails for $32. And I'm using the Real Techniques setting brush for this step as well. So this is the same brush that I used for my powder under my eyes, and it's one of my all-time favorite highlighter brushes. The problem is that I actually own two of these because I don't want like the shimmer particles from the highlighters to get into my setting powders ever. So I own two of these, and you can actually buy them separately for $7.99 each. So I'm going to add on that $7.99 because having two of these is actually essential in my routine. This is my first time using this highlighter on its own. I've used it over top of other highlighters, and I've used it as eyeshadow, but I've never actually just used it as its own highlighter. Oh my goodness, it's icy. Listen, I've heard a lot about Ofra's highlighters and the fact that they're extremely blinding, and I would say that's correct. I gotta buff this one out a little because that got very icy. But I like it, I like the pink tone. Okay, so like I said, we will loop back to that palette for eyes later, but right now I want to do lips. So I am using the Essence Stay 8 Hour Lip Liner in the shade Tea Time. And these are really affordable. They're $2.99 and I really, really love them. I think they're a super great formula. They last so long. They're one of my favorite lip liner formulas at the drugstore. And the lipstick I chose today is the Mented Semi-Matte Lipstick in the shade Pretty in Pink. This is a really beautiful, like peachy pink shade, and I think it's gonna go really nicely with the peachy cheeks and eye look today. This lipstick is $16. However, I feel like Mented oftentimes has really good sales, so I would maybe wait and see if you can get it for a slightly lower price. And I'm not going to use a gloss today. I just haven't been wearing glosses lately at all. So I feel like I don't want to just add another product to the list just for the sake of adding every possible product I might ever use in my makeup routine. So I'm going to leave it at this and move on to eyes. Okay, so for eye products today, I am going to kind of fast forward through the actual application here. So I'm going to talk through the products ahead of time, let you know their prices, and then you'll see me applying them. But the reason I'm fast forwarding through is because we are having a snowpocalypse here in Colorado. So I decided to take advantage of being stuck inside all weekend, and I'm going to batch film a bunch of videos. So I'm actually filming an eyeshadow tutorial and a brow tutorial. So my shirt is going to change. Sorry about that. Please just bear with me. I work a full-time job during the week, so I'm just trying to get as much filming done as possible on the weekends. So thank you for bearing with me kind of through trying to batch film all on one day. So for brows, I have two products here. The first one is a spoolie. I use a spoolie every single time I do my brows because I like to brush them up into place before I apply any product, regardless of what product I'm going in with. So this is the Angled Eyebrow EB1 brush from Profusion Cosmetics, and it retails for $4. And then my actual brow makeup this week is going to be the e.l.f. Wow Brow. And this is a really beautiful tinted brow gel, and this retails for $4. So my brows are pretty affordable. I'm happy about that. Then for eye makeup, I'm gonna go ahead and apply the Milani eyeshadow primer before I do any eyeshadow. I've been having a lot of issues with creasing and fading of my eyeshadows, even with formulas that I feel like have always performed super well for me. So I don't know if my skin has changed or if it's due to some sort of skincare I'm using or what, but I've found that this eyeshadow primer is genuinely making a huge difference in how my makeup looks throughout the day. So I'll be using this eyeshadow primer, which is $5.99. Then, as I mentioned earlier, I'll be using the Ofra Sweet Dreams eyeshadow palette for my eyeshadow today. So I already counted the cost of this, which was $32 when I counted the highlighter. So I won't count it twice. To create the eyeshadow look that I'm kind of hoping to get with that palette, I think I only need 3 brushes, which is great. I'll be using the Firm Blending brush, the ES2 from Profusion Cosmetics, which is $4. But then here's where kind of a big ticket item comes in. These 2 other eyeshadow brushes I want to use are from Prados Beauty. And I actually purchased these as part of a 9-piece brush set. And that brush set is $45. So although I'm only using 2 brushes, I did have to purchase that whole set in order to get these 2 brushes, which I love the shape of. So I think they're important steps in this makeup routine. That being said, Prados Beauty is now selling individual brushes. So, if you were to go out and replicate this tomorrow, you could probably buy these 2 individually for much less than $45. So I just wanted to note that, but I did pay $45 for the set that these came in, so I need to include that whole cost. And then last up here with the eye products is the Milk Makeup Kush Mascara. I have this little mini trial size. They do sell this mascara in a mini size, which is 1 step bigger than this, but still not a full-size mascara, for $15. I mean, this was just a trial, a free sample, so I didn't pay anything for this, but I'm gonna count the $15 because I probably wouldn't buy the full-size tube of mascara. I would buy the $15 mini. So sorry, I actually just looked it up again because $15 sounded wrong, and it was. The mini is $13, the full size is $25. So I would spend $13 on the mini mascara. So now please sit back, relax, and enjoy this fast-forwarded little application of all of those eye products while I change shirts many times. Okay, and I am back in the green tank top that was meant for this particular video. So I will just say, if you're curious what those other two videos I was filming are, the one with the floral shirt where I'm doing my eyeshadow, that actually went up on Monday. So you can check that one out now. I'll link it in the corner if you're curious. And then the black long sleeve shirt that I'm wearing when I'm doing my brows, that is for a video that's coming tomorrow that I'm super excited about. So I can't link it yet, but keep an eye out or subscribe to my channel if you want to check that video out when it goes live. It's a comparison of an expensive brow gel and two affordable alternatives. But back to this video now of kind of adding up the total cost of all of these items that I used today. Okay, so are you ready? Are you excited to hear the total? Because I will tell you that this number definitely shocked me. The total of all of those makeup products, including the brushes I used to apply them, is $310.94. Now, I don't know how that makes you feel. Maybe you think that's an extremely affordable face of makeup, depending on your taste and if you tend to lean towards more high-end or luxury makeup. But for me, for someone like me who kind of thinks of myself as more of an affordable makeup purchaser with the occasional like high-end or, fancy makeup item every once in a while, that number really surprised me. And I would say that one of the reasons it surprised me so much is because when I was getting ready to film this video, everything that I used today fits in this tiny little bin. And I was thinking like, okay, well, this isn't that much makeup. I didn't add any, extra steps above and beyond what I would normally do. I don't have anything in here that's like luxury pricing. I have a couple sort of high-end items, but nothing that is in the luxury category for sure. And I was just so surprised that this little tiny basket of makeup added up to over $300. Of course, the brushes weren't in there, and they were actually a significant chunk of the overall cost. So that's important to note as well. I kind of take that for granted because they're a one-time purchase, and hopefully if you're buying reasonably decent quality brushes, which you can find affordably, you probably won't have to replace them super often. But this little exercise reminded me that those were actually a huge upfront investment in my makeup collection. And the fact that if I didn't have those, most of the rest of my makeup would actually be useless to me. So it kind of reestablished my love for my brushes and the fact that I did purchase ones that lasted long enough to not have to be replaced constantly. Now, I just want to point out a few differences between kind of my version of this video and Hannah Louise Poston's version of this video. So I touched on this a little bit in the intro, but I, as a very small YouTuber just getting started in this space, have not received PR or free products or gifts in the form of makeup from other YouTubers that I've made as friends or things like that, right? All of these products I purchased myself with my own money. In Hannah's video, she breaks down kind of her totals based on the products she had actually purchased herself, so like money that truly came out of her pocket. And she then separated out everything that she either received as a gift or PR. And I think she actually even separated out the things that she bought specifically with her like YouTube channel business budget, right? Like things she only bought to review on YouTube, things she wouldn't have bought otherwise. And that's really interesting to me to see her break it up that way. So I do think that her video adds something different and unique than mine. I would highly recommend you go check it out. I'm gonna link it in the description box down below. But I wanted to give this perspective of kind of the more like average consumer, right? I just started on YouTube last August, and all of the makeup I purchased and used in this video, I bought with my own money. So I wanted to kind of give that thought or that perspective of someone who does purchase all of their own things, because I think it can be easy to kind of forget that a lot of people on YouTube are able to afford those more expensive or luxury products because they aren't actually paying for them themselves. Not trying to throw shade. Truthfully, I'm hoping that eventually I'm on some PR lists because there are a lot of brands and products I'd love to try out that I frankly cannot afford. This full face of makeup could have been astronomically expensive if I would have, throughout my life, purchased the makeup products that I wanted to in the high-end and luxury categories. But regardless, with my own money, this one full face of makeup is $310. And I probably have enough makeup in my collection that I could do this full face, but with all 100% completely different products. So like swap out every single product for a different version of that type of product. So like swap out the concealer for a different concealer, swap out the bronzer for a different bronzer, eyeshadow palette for eyeshadow palette, etc. I could probably do this like maybe 4 times over without running out of duplicates of those products. And realistically, probably more like 5 or 6 if I could duplicate some products. Like I only have a couple setting powders and I only have a couple lip liners and things like that. So I really think that this was a good exercise for me because just this one single face of makeup was over $300 and I'm positive I could do it 4 to 6 times. That means I own a lot of makeup, and that brings me kind of full circle to a huge aspect of my channel this year in 2021, which is my no buy and low buy alternating schedule. So if you're new here, you may want to check out my video, link it up here and then also in the description down below, where I talk through kind of why I am doing a no buy and low buy in 2021. And I will say one of my biggest motivating factors is the financial aspect. I'm wanting to save money and I'm also wanting to get my money's worth out of the things I've already paid for that are in my collection. But another huge aspect of it is to make sure I'm reaching back into my makeup collection and using those products that I really, really, truly do love. And this face of makeup makes me so, so happy. It makes me thrilled that I own all of these products. I love this eye look so much more than I can even explain in words right now. I think that these tones really complement my face well, and because I went for more of like a spring peachy vibe, this is totally putting me in the mood for spring, and that makes me really, really happy. Makeup is my creative outlet, so I'm not saying that this $310 was not worth $310. I'm just saying it's something for me to consider as I continue on this no buy and low buy journey. Enough of me rambling. I hope you enjoyed this video today. I hope it was useful for you in some way. If it was, I would love if you would give it a thumbs up and leave me a comment down below to let me know if you try this out, kind of add up your totals and let me know how much you have spent on kind of one full face of your routine. If you haven't already, I would love to have you subscribe before you go today. Thank you again so much for watching this video today, and I will see you next time.